Hello, Scorpio. These are your tarot cards for June of 2023. I'm Danielle Stimpson of Learn Reiki Philadelphia, and if you enjoy things like crystals, tarot, and Reiki, I highly recommend that you hit that subscribe button and the notification bell because you are going to love this channel. So without any further ado, let's head into your cards. Okay, so this month is, the best way I can put it is you're preparing for a major transition. So the focus is this feeling of being worse for the wear. Are we there yet? Are we almost done? It's almost like when you help a friend move and you've got like those last remaining boxes and you're like, can't we just be done? That's kind of how this feels. And that's going to be the focus of the month. So you are going to feel a little bit worn out, a little bit like, can't I be where I want to go yet? But there are still some big things that require resolution this month. And that's really going to be the key word for this month, is finding resolution and creating resolution. So how are we coming into this month out of May? We've got the Lovers. The Lovers is a powerful card of coming together in honesty, integrity, openness, balance. Balance being key. These are people who want to see what's best for each other, and bringing them together will help them each individually exponentially. They're safe and free to be vulnerable with each other, and we've got the angel looking down from above and is happy about this going on. So it's certainly more than just a romantic relationship. This could also be connecting. This is usually like seemingly fated connection, or what feels like a very deeply important connection. But this can be to organizations, groups of people, even in some cases, a concept or a thought or this is my kind of calling, in a sense, can speak to the Lovers somewhat. I definitely recommend that you check out your sun, moon, and rising sign if you know all three, because that'll give you a much more precise view of your month ahead, by the way, definitely regarding this. What is the challenge for this month? And like I said, resolution is a focus for this month, and judgment is very much about resolution, and this is in the challenge position. So judgment is generally, like, we could think of almost like the scene that's here is it brings to mind the book of Revelation. It's like the angel comes out from behind a cloud, blows a trumpet, and it's like, okay, pencils down, Earth. Everybody, what are you doing? What are you working on? We're going to see what your score is today. And it's very much about like looking back at everything and seeing where you could have done what. But because this isn't just like okay, the game is over, let's see how we did, life continues on. This is all about what we leave in our wake. This is all about, did we make any promises that were left unfulfilled and things like that. The challenge position brings in a lot of the transverse meanings of what this card can bring. On the worst side, it's any way that we hide from ourselves what we've been doing and not doing, so that we don't have to take personal responsibility. For some folks, that's, everyone would default to like defensiveness. Like, that wasn't me. I wouldn't do that. And then maybe when we think about it later, we're like, maybe it was me. At the worst, this could also be things like alcohol and drugs, or any kind of distraction things, anything that helps break us from reality and makes it a little easier for us not to take full responsibility for things. It could also be a tendency towards things like martyrdom, which is, rather than saying, okay, this is the result, it's more like making yourself out to be like a sacrificial lamb. Like, I did this for all of you. And it's like, but did anyone ask? It's that kind of stuff. So the challenge is going to be making sure that you make good on everything, but also to look at yourself objectively. Lean on other people, ask people that you trust and respect, have them bounce some things off of you, and serve as like a good reflection, because we really can't see our own reflection, but this is like the deepest level of shadow work. Because it's in the challenge position, it might be a bit much, but also if you don't do this and you don't want to face it, it's only going to take those things that are out of balance and make them bigger. You want to get ready, remember, for that next big thing. You don't want to be stuck here in that 9 of Wands of, are we almost done yet, forever? And when you're ready to go into that next thing, you don't want to be dragging with you this albatross of things that you haven't resolved yet. So that's going to be the challenge. What's the best path forward? And it's the Knight of Wands. This is a lot of vigor, a lot of nimble, agile, but quick moving, thinking energy and acting energy more than anything. This is how you show up and make those causes. But this is basically saying there's going to be a lot of quick movement. You are going to be in the fray. It's like you're working through a lot of different things. And this is also some advice about maybe treading a little bit lightly, maybe being a little bit measured in your approach. It could feel like, hey, great, I'm going to take these horses and just kind of run roughshod into the next thing. What this is saying is, yes, it's chaotic. Yes, you're moving quickly, but still take that time, even more so now, to look at the fine details and make sure that you're not just rushing in, you're being very measured and very thoughtful and mindful in your approach as to how you move forward. But you can absolutely do that. The last card is the Whispers from Your Guides. It's exactly what it sounds like. And sometimes it's a warning, sometimes it's advice, sometimes it could be any number of things. This is definitely some more advice. This is the 7 of Pentacles, which usually is, pentacles can be literal coin. It can be finite resources, roof over your head, car, things like that. And in this reading, I feel like it's a little bit more the most mundane version of this card, a little bit more general. This is usually like say a farmer or a merchant, but we'll say farmer here. And here is something he's been working on growing, and now this plant is bearing fruit. This is him taking inventory, taking stock to see, did I get out from all of this effort what I wanted? Was this worth my effort? Could I have yielded more? Could I have gotten more? How could I have done this better? And trying to come to account on those. This is a very, as much as it's not, swords are very much mental, but this is showing up in a very mental way. This is your guides basically saying to not be all wrapped up in your emotions with those resolutions that you need to make, but rather try to step back and be objective. Look at it like, say, a merchant would look at their stock and say, I bought it for this, I'm selling it for that, and is this worth the money? That kind of thing. The farmer saying, okay, here's all the effort I'm putting in, this is what I'm getting on my plants, is that worth it? And it's also, because it's a minor arcana, it's a very mundane card. We have much more control over those things in the minor arcana. So I feel like this is your guide saying, be honest and objective, be honest with yourself. Look at it as though you were an accountant just looking at the numbers. You're not attached to what those numbers represent. You just need to make the balance sheet work. So doing that as a practice, but doing it as a regular practice. Show up every day that you can a little bit more, and you'll get a much more clear view on what all of this means, because that Judgment card is sort of like all encompassing. It touches a lot of parts of your life. This is going to be showing up saying, definitely look at those things, see how you can make things better or how things might be left unresolved, and figure out how to bring that resolution by not getting too impassioned and being a little bit more general about it. That might make it a little easier for you. So with that all said, remember, all of the things that you're working through this month will make it easier for you to embrace those things that are important that you want to do in the future. So being honest with yourself, even when you're seeing those parts of yourself that you might not want to see, or being honest with how we've shown up, it's okay, because It's better to resolve it now on your own terms and leave it in your past than drag it with you when you're trying to embrace your future. So Scorpio, have a beautiful rest of your month. Definitely subscribe if you want to be known, if you want to be told right away when your July cards are ready. And if you want to know more about my live online Reiki certification courses, if you want to schedule a one-on-one reading or distance session, my books are open right now. The link is in the description. And my crystal shop is linked in the description as well. So have a beautiful month ahead. All the best to you, Scorpio. And I hope to see you again in July.